you discover that your enterprise has been breached or has been a victim of cybercrime, your initial thoughts go to solving the immediate problem. But for true cyber professionals, that's only the beginning. It is important for cybersecurity professionals to undergo a thorough process of identifying, preserving, analyzing, and presenting digital evidence. This process is known as digital forensics. Since the 1970s, the field of digital forensics has evolved to keep up with the widespread adoption of technology and the means in which these technologies are used for criminal activity. The use of computers for financial crimes in the 1980s helped shape digital forensic methods into what they are today. With the advent of modern computing, a new landscape for criminal activity has emerged. The need to gather new forms of evidence turned digital forensics into a vital tool used by law enforcement in the pursuit and conviction of crimes, both computer-based, such as human exploitation, cyberstalking, and cyber terrorism, but also computer-facilitated, such as illegal data breaches that result in the theft of information. To support this new discipline, specialized tools have also emerged to assist investigators in the capture, analysis, and preservation of evidence that might arise during the course of investigating that criminal activity. Any part of an enterprise system can be vulnerable to criminal activity, data theft, or unauthorized penetration. Forensic analysts must make sure to analyze storage media, hardware and operating systems, networks, and applications to locate the point of compromise. The mission criticality of the compromised application, system, or network determines the level of investigation. When conducting a forensic investigation, it is important to follow the digital forensic scientific process. This 8-step process covers the entire evidence gathering procedure, from data collection to examination and analysis to reporting. In the data collection phase, investigators obtain search authority, document the chain of custody, and hash and duplicate all evidence. In the examination and analysis phase, investigators validate their tools, perform analysis, and reproduce those methods and outcomes for assurance. The reporting phase is when conclusions are made and expert evidence or testimony is presented. Since investigators may be required to present evidence as part of expert testimony, using this scientific process increases the likelihood that any evidence found will be fully admissible in a court of law. Another important consideration for organizations, should they be the victim of a breach, is the possible mishandling of evidence by untrained staff. To mitigate this risk, an organization's evidence preservation considerations could involve bringing in either law enforcement or an external forensic specialist, should legal remedies such as criminal prosecution of the perpetrator be considered. Computer systems, networks, and mobile devices can all be utilized in or fall victim to a cyber attack. Each device type has different intrusion methods and requirements for evidence handling. This has led to the formation of 3 distinct branches of digital forensics. Computer forensics may rely on the need to create a disk image to preserve evidence, or virtual drives may be used to emulate an entire machine. Network forensics focuses on the monitoring and analyzing of computer network traffic. Mobile devices present their own unique challenges, due in part to memory volatility, as low-power DRAM used in smartphones can lose data when powered off. Thus, proper handling procedures and adherence to the documented chain of custody must be followed to protect and preserve such evidence. Regardless of where an attack occurs, the enterprise cybersecurity program should have policies that address all forensics considerations, such as contacting law enforcement, monitoring, and conducting regular reviews of forensic policies, guidelines, and procedures. This should take into account the need to preserve and maintain evidence, as well as other requirements such as accreditation. For example, in situations where cardholder data is involved, as well as the decision to involve outside specialists. When you discover that your enterprise has been breached, digital forensics can ensure that best practices are observed throughout the evidence-gathering process. Without digital forensics, evidence can go unnoticed or become compromised, and systems may remain vulnerable to additional attacks. As cybercriminals get more sophisticated and data breaches become more damaging to enterprises, digital forensics and the digital forensic scientific process will continue to provide a means to bring cybercriminals to justice in our increasingly complex and fast-moving technological landscape. For more information on digital forensics and for opportunities to build your cyber skill set through CSX training, go to isaka.org/digitalforensics.